I'd like to welcome everybody to the July meeting of the Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation Commission. At this time, we'll call the meeting to order. As usual, our first item will be the prayer and pledge of allegiance, and Mr. Eddie Miller is going to lead us in that. Eddie?
Okay, all right. If everyone will please stand for the prayer and pledge. Heavenly Father, thank you for all the many blessings that you give us. Help us that we may make good decisions today. Also, help that there may be peace throughout the world. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Eddie. Everybody should have received their packet earlier in the week. Contained in that packet were the minutes from our previous meeting, which would have been in May since we did not meet in June. And give everybody a chance to review those minutes. And if there are any changes, address those. If not, a motion for approval.
So moved that we approve it.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll move now. Lanny, I think you wanted to start. You have a couple of promotions and new hire introductions
Yes,
you'd like to
Mr.
make?
Chairman, members of the Commission, we're very pleased to announce some new hires and promotions. The first one I'd like to announce is the new Greenway and Wetland Coordinator, Miss Melinda Tate, which is not a stranger to anyone in this room. We're very excited to have her, and if Melinda, if you'd like to come to the podium and address the Commission, you may.
Well, I'm just real happy to be here. I've been bragging to my friends and family that my office is 12 miles long, has a great view, and of course that means I have an open door policy too. I'm real excited about this position. Our family's been using the Greenway for 16 years, and I'm really excited about the direction that it's going to. So I appreciate your confidence in me, and look forward to doing a good job.
Welcome.
The next person that I'd like to introduce is Mr. Ron Steed. He has worked for us part-time for 2 years, and he is our new program coordinator at the Patterson Community Center. Mr. Steed has a Master's of Science degree in sports management. And Ron, if you would like to address the Commission, you may.
I'd like to say thank you for having me here and this opportunity to work with the wonderful city of Murfreesboro. I'm ready to get started, very excited to be here, and hope to work with everyone here very closely very soon. Thank you.
Welcome, Ron.
The next, with the promotion of Mr. Nate Williams, our aquatics coordinator, now our recreation superintendent, we had an opening for aquatics coordinator. That new aquatics coordinator is Miss Nikki Hensley. She has worked for us for 6 years, 3 years part-time, and then 3 years full-time as the assistant aquatics coordinator. And I'd like to welcome Nikki to the podium. Nikki.
Hello. I'm just excited and happy to be here. And afterwards, if y'all want to get your swimsuits, come to SportsCom. I'll be there.
Congratulations, Nick.
The next person is Von Shell Stembridge. Von Shell has worked for us 3 years part-time and has been promoted into what we consider professional part-time equivalent to full-time within our department. She'll be graduating in August from Middle Tennessee State University with a degree in child development and family studies. And she's going to be working in the after-school programs for us. So, Von Shell, if you would like to address the Commission.
Hello, my name is Von Shell Stembridge, and I'm just excited. I've been here for a while now, and I'm ready for many more years, and I'm just glad for this experience. So thank you so much.
Congratulations, Von Shell.
Two other people I'd like to mention, Ms. Caitlin Brace and Mr. Jonathan Carter, who are doing field studies with us this year, and if they would like to stand and be recognized. You're in the back. All right. Mr. Chairman, before we start, I would like to request that we add one item to the agenda, which would be item 7, which would be the Vanderbilt grant, and that is working with seniors. And Mr. Tom Sage will be presenting that along with some information of the upcoming First Shot camp that's coming up. So if you could add that to your agenda item list.
Done. Well, congratulations to all you guys on promotions and those joining us. We say it all the time, but we can't say it enough. But you guys are the reason we have the best department in the state, and certainly one of the best in the country. So we appreciate what you all do. We'll move now to new business. Our first item is, unless you were living under a rock, we had a fairly large soccer event here in the last several weeks, and we'd like to recognize some of the folks that made that possible. Lanny, I'll turn it over to you, and we'll go from there.
Mr. Chair and members of the Commission and members of the audience and folks that are watching at home, it was a tremendous soccer tournament that we had. We had 184 teams come from 12 different states. They were here for approximately 6 days. I know we opened at the Miller Coliseum. There was, I think it's the first time I've ever seen them have to pull all the bleachers out, and they were actually doing the wave at one point. It was very impressive to see over 7,000 people in the Miller Coliseum. That was the start of the Southern Regional, and it was a great tournament. It brought a lot of recognition to our city, but it also brought a lot of economic impact to our city. So today what we would like to do is we would like to recognize the partners and the people that was responsible for making this happen. Mayor Tommy Bragg is here to make those presentations along with the Assistant City Manager, Mr. Crumley, and Mr. Jernigan. If you could join them at the podium, then we can start the presentation.
Mr. Chairman and members of the Commission, Vice Mayor, Councilmember McFarland, nice to see you here, all the staff that's here, and our other visitors. It's certainly mindful to me in June that we got to visit with a lot of new folks in Murfreesboro. When you have over 3,000 athletes and their families come to our town for the largest soccer event ever held in Tennessee, you've got to be proud of it. And there were some particular people that we want to make sure get recognized and thanked for doing all of that work. This week-long event brought in almost 10,000 visitors who spent an estimated $8 million. And so those of you who were out in shopping at that time or out in our restaurants, the drive-ins and the sit-down restaurants, you're going to notice that there were a lot of new faces there. And I know they had a great time because Murfreesboro is a great town. Rutherford County is a great place to be. I'm joined today by Jim Crumley, our Assistant City Manager, and I want him to kind of give some brief thanks, if you would, before I make these recognitions.
Thank you, Mayor. And just to pick up on what the Mayor said about folks in town, I happened to be at the Murfreesboro Municipal Airport during the conference. There were no other places to park airplanes at the airport from the folks who came in from the region to watch soccer here in Murfreesboro. But some particular groups to be thanked. Tennessee Soccer, thank you all for your assistance in recruiting and organizing and helping us with the Murfreesboro Soccer Club, Chamber of Commerce, and of course our staff that did a great job in putting our facilities in top-notch shape for the folks who came to town and enjoyed the event.
Dee, do you have any words you want to say?
Nothing to add other than, I got so much feedback from the tournament. I was out at one of the local restaurants waiting in line and met some folks from 2 different states, and they were singing our community's praises. They were telling us what we already know, that we have one of, if not the finest youth soccer complex, certainly in the region, if not in the country. And it's just gives you one more reason to be thankful we live in the community that we do. And thank you all for those that made it possible.
Thank you. It was a special event, and of course our city has worked very hard and diligently after the 20 years of youth soccer to get our Siegel Soccer Park open and to actually to get it used. And this is one of 3 huge regional tournaments. We won't be able to get that tournament every year, but we were certainly pleased and proud to get it this year. I might also make folks mindful, if they are not mindful, that right beside the Siegel Soccer Park is an outdoor, outstanding neighborhood park facility, and everyone that hasn't been there ought to go over there, take your young children, your older children, walking paths, a lot of great facilities right next door to Siegel. So it's not just for Siegel, but it's for neighborhoods, and we're very pleased and proud of that. The first person I'd like to recognize, I believe, is Craig Long, who was the tournament chair. Craig is here. He's also the Executive Vice President of the Tennessee Soccer Association, and I'm going to give him a little time to tell us about what he thought about the soccer event and about their participation. Craig, if you'll come on up. Craig Long.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
First of all, thank you for having us here in Murfreesboro today, and actually having us here for the last 18 months. This journey started in October of 2009, and the Region 3 from U.S. Youth Soccer came to us and said it's time that Tennessee consider hosting an event of this magnitude in their state. It was a very easy decision when we decided that we were going to go forth and do that. We wanted to bring it to Murfreesboro. And why was that? Number one, the community support from folks like yourselves, volunteer support from the Murfreesboro Soccer Club. We knew we would have a solid base of volunteers that could get the job done. And then finally was the facility itself. As the mayor said, it is a top-notch facility in the southern region of the United States, and we wanted to bring that event here to show it off. And my hat's off to the group from the Parks and Rec Department. You guys did a fantastic job prepping the event, prepping the facilities for the event, and then on site while we were there, never did we have to ask twice to get something done. And that was fantastic. My hat's off to you. You made the job real, real easy. It was a huge event. We did bring thousands of people here. It is the largest youth soccer event ever to come to Tennessee, and we're very, very pleased with the result of it. I think we got the same kind of comments, and that was that the facilities were great, the organization was great, and someday we'd like to come back and they'd like to bring that tournament back or another type of tournament, maybe even one higher level. So we appreciate everything that Murfreesboro did for Tennessee State Soccer to bring this event here. That includes Parks and Rec, the city, the chamber, and everybody else that was involved to help us support that. Tennessee Soccer is also represented here today by Brian Flanagan. He was my right-hand guy during the entire event, and he's an operations guru and made it happen with his feet on the ground the entire event. So we appreciate that, and thank you for the recognition.
Craig, we've got a presentation. Lanny, stand up here with me, if you will. And Dee, we want to make this presentation to the Tennessee State Soccer Association in recognition of your efforts, expertise, and valuable contributions to promote youth soccer in our community by hosting United States Youth Soccer Southern Regional Championships held at Richard Siegel Soccer Complex, June 15th, 22nd, 2011. Congratulations, and thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Grant. I appreciate it.
Thank you. While we're all in a good mood and recognizing folks, let's just keep on. Mona Herring, come up here, please. Mona works with our Murfreesboro Chamber of Commerce Convention and Visitors Bureau. She's been there longer than I've been mayor, and she does an outstanding job. And we're just so pleased and excited to have you kind of comment on what you think this meant to our Visitors Bureau to have this event here.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Well, this was certainly the biggest thing we've ever done, right on the heels of Spring Fling, so that was an added challenge, but it really takes a village to put this on. We had the help from everyone, from Murfreesboro city, from the Parks and Rec. I can't say enough for the partnership that we have through the Parks and Recreation Department. Every time we go to do something like this, it is a true partnership where we get together and we figure out the best way to do things and how to get the volunteers and how to put it on. And every time they step up to the plate, and we're just so thankful for that. When we went to Baton Rouge, when did we go to Baton Rouge? October of 2009 to get this. We were very hopeful that we would get it, and we got that and the President's Cup that we held here last year. So that was a true feather in our hat to get both of those. And when the people came, they really did appreciate all that we had done and all that the parks did. So we were really appreciative of everything they've done. It was an $8.5 million impact, the largest one we've ever hosted, and we hope that we get the opportunity to do that again. And thank you for all of your help and all the work that you do to make our Parks and Rec the best that the state has to offer. And we see that, and it's nice to showcase that to everyone else in the Southeast. Thank you.
Thank you. Step up. We have also this certificate of appreciation that reads very similar to the one I just read before, but it in no way diminishes the fact that we want to thank you for all the hard work you do, not only for this soccer, but for everything you do across our community, and we thank you very much. We're very proud of you. Thank you. Thanks very, very much. She wants to take a picture of you over there. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you, Monty.
And obviously, where there were some maintenance folks that go along with this that need to be recognized. Shane Phillips, who's with the Siegel Maintenance with our Murfreesboro Parks and Rec. Is Shane here? Shane, come on up here now. We want you to be recognized. Anybody that's done that kind of hard work gets to get their face on the camera because the mayor likes to be seen with people who are working hard. Shane, congratulations to you. Is this your crew right here? Are these your folks?
Yeah, some of them.
You want to read those names off and ask them to come up here too?
I'll defer to you if you don't mind.
Is Harry Bean here? I'll tell you what, we'll have you stand up in place. How about that? Harry, Shane Phillips is the crew leader at Richard. Okay, you're here. Then Tony Santos, right? Tony, please stand. Marta Morgan. Marta, thank you. Steve Toombs, who's the superintendent of maintenance. And then we have some part-time folks. Craig Aradine. Is Craig here?
He's actually in New York, taking care of his mother.
Okay, good. Well, good luck to them. Drew Blankenship. Drew, thank you. Austin Bodges. Dustin Hughes. Jeb Hughes. There may be a family connection there. Jamie Oriti. Jamie, excuse me. Brad Potts. Drew Roberts. Art Snell. And Scotty Pendergrass. Let's recognize these folks for the work they do. Now, I know those fields have been prepared and they were made to grow grass, but anybody that can grow grass and keep it in Middle Tennessee is very special. So I want to say thank you for your very special efforts to keep those fields in great condition year-round, not just when we need them, but all the time. And they are an excellent addition to our community, and I thank you all for your efforts in taking care of that. And we're going to recognize the whole Siegel maintenance crew. Well, it's the Shane Phillips maintenance crew. Is that right? Okay. And we're very pleased and proud that y'all worked so hard with us and made that such a special occasion for our soccer folks, and we're very proud of that. Very good for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I also want to recognize those folks from the Murfreesboro Soccer Club. They are evidently out of town enjoying the rich rewards of having this event go so well and then taking a much-needed break afterwards. But that's Bill Terry, Leanna Wright, Max Moss, and Bill Hawkins. And none of them could be with us today, but we have a presentation for them also. And if I can, I'll ask Thomas Laird to come up and accept that on behalf of the Murfreesboro Soccer Club. Thomas, come on up here. Thank you very much. And if you'll express our good wishes to the soccer club when they get back from their long journeys away recuperating.
I would like to say, of all the organizations, we have partnerships. I think we had 91 partnerships last year. And while we appreciate and enjoy working with all our partnerships, this club, the Murfreesboro Soccer Club, puts forth a phenomenal amount of volunteers, not just for this event, but we host the state cups year after year. We host the spring fling, and I would say they provide the most number of volunteers at all of those events. It is just remarkable the number of people that are willing to come out and help out with soccer. And I know Bill Terry and this committee here, they spent hundreds of hours in the preparation for this, and not to mention every one of them used vacation days during the actual tournament itself. So they might have got 10 days vacation. They're taking half of them now. They took the other half during the soccer tournament. So.
All right, Thomas, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you. And if you'll stay right here, don't we have something for Thomas also? Last but not least. Did we get that? And Thomas, for your hard work, you get one too. Congratulations, and thank you very much. 91 different groups. You know, the city's only got 31 different bank accounts. I don't know how you can deal with 91 different groups. Congratulations. Thank you very much. There are many people who didn't get recognized, but I do want to thank them and all of our folks in Murfreesboro for being so cordial and easy to get along with. And I certainly look at Lanny Goodwin and the staff that he has built and the board and commission members that make him work, who do such a great job to give our Parks and Recreation the best reputation across the state and the region. Thank you, Lanny. Thanks very much, Mr. Chairman, for having me.
Mayor Bragg, thank you. And we can't ever have you here without, we don't want to say it in front of Chris and Shane too much because they'll get the big head, but we have the department and the facilities and the services that we have because we have leadership that recognizes the importance and quality of life that this provides, and we greatly appreciate what you and the rest of the council do for us and providing all of that. Thank you. We'll move now to item number 2 under new business. And Thomas is back up in the spotlight with an update on youth football and cheerleading. Thomas?
As you know, we've moved through baseball season. Most teams are wrapping it up, finishing up in season-end tournaments, and football's right around the corner. We're doing registration for our youth football and cheerleading program currently. We've added 7- and 8-year-olds this year, so that's a new element that we definitely want to try to get out to the general public to let them know that we are offering 7- and 8-year-old football. And the registration is Monday through Friday at Sportscom Patterson from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We also have registration at the main office at Barfield Crescent Park from 8 to 4:30 and at McFadden Community Center from 8 to 4:30. So we've got several locations for people to go register during the week. If you'd like to talk with one of us and like to register with a league representative in person, we're doing that the next 2 Saturdays at Sportscom from 10 to 1. And this is for our football and cheerleading. We're really looking to try to bring some new ideas to the table at football. One thing that we are doing is we are certifying all of our coaches through USA Football. We want to get the best qualified coaches and officials that we possibly can. And while we've done certification before, it was with the National Youth Sports Coaching Association, it wasn't focused 100% towards football. And we want to give all of these coaches the tools out there available to provide the best experience for the kids. Fundamentals, having fun, that's a big focus for our league. We want them to be able to succeed, and that's what's going to keep them in the sports. The same thing with cheerleading. Cheerleading registration is going on. We want to encourage any girl ages 6 to 13 that would like to cheer to come and register and be a part of our cheerleading program. Now, the cost for football is $70 per child, but you will have to purchase equipment. So I try to tell parents if they are looking to purchase new equipment, you can figure football is going to be about $200 for your child to have all the equipment and things needed. Cheerleading, it's about $110 once they purchase the uniforms and stuff. But pretty standard, and I think if you go look across the Mid-South, that those are pretty low rates compared to what other organizations are doing. Any questions on football?
Anybody have any questions for Thomas?
How many kids did we have participate last year?
Last year there was roughly 250 to 300 kids. We had 14 teams were fielded. Our goal this year, and it doesn't sound maybe as big, but we're shooting for 18 to 20 teams this year. That's a significant growth when you figure there's 20 to 25 kids on a team. So we're hoping to increase that, and then we'll look to adding 5 and 6 flag football in the future if our 7 and 8 program develops.
Any other questions for Thomas? I'm sure it'll go great as usual.
Looking forward to it.
Stay up. You're next on the
I got
agenda.
one more.
It's a busy day for Thomas. Item
well-
number 3 is your run with scissors.
Right. Siegel Park, obviously, with the presentation we just had, is a fantastic soccer facility. But we're trying to maximize that. We literally have to close it down, the fields themselves down for a period during the summer, for the fields to regenerate, for us to maintain the level of quality that we try to maintain out there. So during that shutdown period, we really brainstormed to try to find an event that we could host that would not impact the fields but would still utilize the park. And one thing that we've done in other parks, in an event that was held in another location, was a 5K run, the Runs with Scissors. In this event, we looked at it, and because we have such a unique facility there at Siegel, we have turned it into the 5K off-road event. And this is with a certified course, and your average people wonder, well, what's the difference in a certified course versus a regular course? Well, one is that the accuracy of the distance is spot on, and it's recognized on a national scale that this is a certified course, and so runners that are involved and compete on a regular basis are able to further their national ranking by competing on a certified course. So, and the fact that this is an off-road, multi-surface course is very unique. There's not many in the state that's similar to this, and I think we're offering a unique experience. So on July 30th will be the event. It starts at 7:30 a.m. Early registration is $25, and you can register at Sportscom now. We also have registration forms at Patterson and Barfield Crescent Park. And get in early. There is a great package for runners with a dry fit shirt, water bottle, I think a pass to go swimming after the event at the pool. So it's really going to be a great event. We encourage anyone that's interested in running, that's a runner, to go ahead and get signed up and get involved.
Thanks, Thomas. Any questions for Thomas regarding that event? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Bart Fight. Bart, welcome. Give us an update on National Night Out.
Mr. Chairman and members of the Commission, I'm here today just to give you some information on another event we're having coming up here in a couple of weeks. It's called our National Night Out, and it will be held this year on Tuesday, August the 2nd, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., and it will be held in different locations throughout the city, and I'll give you those locations here in a few minutes. A lot of people want to know exactly what is National Night Out, and it's what it is. It's a national event held throughout the United States, and it helps promote police and community partnerships. It's to fight crime and promote drug and violence prevention, and also to help promote safety in our neighborhoods. Last year in the United States, we had over 37 million participants throughout the whole United States. And for the 12th year in a row, our city received an award from the National Association of Town Watch for participation of cities in our size. The theme for this year is Take a Bite Out of Borough Burglaries. Now, Donald Smith, Murfreesboro Housing Authority, and Sergeant Melvin Cunningham, they really spearhead this event all year long. We've been meeting probably for 6 months. And they thought this would be a great theme for this year's event. As they said, our burglaries over in our city have gone up 5% from last year. So they came up with a theme and thought this would be great, where at all the sites we'll be showing crime prevention at your home. Hopefully have some like security camera companies come out that can't sell, but they can just distribute information on how to help your home become burglar proof. Again, our National Night Out this year will be held on Tuesday, August 2nd from 5 to 8, and the following locations will be participating: Sportscom, Patterson Park Community Center, Franklin Heights, Oaklands Court, Spring Valley, and Rogers Park. And thank you for your time, and I hope to see you all come out on Tuesday, August the 2nd. We'll have food, we'll have games, we'll have activities for all the kids, and I know we do have a dignitary van that comes around to each of the sites where they come around and meet the people in the local community. So it's a big event, and hopefully we'll have a big turnout. We invite all you to come out, and it's all free. So look forward to seeing you.
Great. Thanks, Bart. Anybody have any questions or comments for Bart regarding National Night Out? Thanks for being here in the update.
Thank you.
Item number 5, coming straight out of the gate, Melinda Tate, going to give us an update on the Gateway Challenge.
Okay, I know all of y'all are used to seeing me up here talking about running, but before you can run, you've got to walk. And I know you've heard a lot in the news the past week about the obesity levels in Tennessee, and I'm hoping that this new program will help people get started just to move. It's called the Gateway Challenge, and not only will it be at the Gateway, it's more of an honor system where you can walk 30 minutes a day, doesn't matter where, but every Wednesday at the Gateway we'll have group walks during lunch. And there are a lot of businesses in the area. Hopefully people will need to get away from their desk, just take a 30-minute walk. And I don't know about y'all, but when I'm walking or on the Greenway, it's almost like therapy. It's not only exercise physically, but mentally as well. The challenge is to walk 30 minutes a day for 50 days. Everyone will get a little checklist. And for everyone who officially registers, we'll have prizes and recognition at the end. And I am now challenging you to accept the Gateway Challenge to see if you can walk 30 minutes a day, and there'll be more information about it. Thank you very much. Oh, does anybody have any questions?
Any questions or comments? Sounds like a great program. Thanks, Melinda.
Thank you.
Becky Johnson is going to come up now and has a few other updates regarding some upcoming events and activities. Becky, welcome.
Thank you. Well, I'm just going to highlight some things we have coming up. I had to resist the urge to bring the Rec Connection and just read everything to you because there are so many fabulous things. But some of the things I'm going to mention today are we have Movies Under the Stars. We have about 2.5 weeks left in that. And if you have not been to this, you need to go. I've been there 3 times this summer with my family. What it is, you bring your blanket, your lawn chair, your truck bed, and you literally watch a movie outside in the park. They are held each week at different locations. So on Mondays, we have Cason Lane Trailhead. Tuesdays, Cannonsburg Village. Thursdays, Richard Siegel Neighborhood Park. Fridays, Mitchell Nielsen Primary, and Saturdays, Hobgood Elementary School. So each week they show a different movie. For the whole week it's that same movie, but you can go to different locations or choose the one closest to you. And then the next week it'll be another movie. So we have the remainder of this week and then 2 more weeks for Movies Under the Star. It is free, absolutely free for your whole family to come on out. They do sell refreshments. They're very inexpensive. I can't think of a better way to spend an activity with your family and spend little to nothing. You can bring your own refreshments if you want to. The movies start at 8:30 p.m., and if you need more information or want a list of the movies, you can call the main office at 890-5333, or you can email the Recreation Department at recreation@murfreesborotn.gov, and we will email you a list. We also have coming up the Borough Kids Triathlon. And this is our second one, and it will be held Saturday, August 27th at the Sportscom. And the event has a junior division for ages 7 to 10 and a senior division for ages 11 to 14. They will swim, bike, run, just like a triathlon. They are taking registrations now, and you can register at www.triboroughkidstry.org for more information and to register for that. We also are now calling artists for our Greenway Art Festival, which is September 17th, 2011. But if you are interested in being an artist, you can call the office, the Greenway office, at 893-2141 to receive an application. It is a juried festival, so they do screen the applications to make sure that it fits the Greenway Art Festival as a fine arts festival. But we are taking applications till September 1st. If they get their application in by August 15th, they will be in the exhibitor's guide. And then for anyone else who would like to just come out and see the Greenway Festival, or the Greenway Art Festival, that is September 17th from 10 to 4 at Old Fort Park. Thomas did mention cheerleading earlier with the football, but I just want to throw that in one more time. It's a program that's near and dear to me, so if you have a child that's interested in cheerleading, we are taking registrations for the month of July for our football program. We also need to mention we do a lot of toddler and preschool programs, and we have We Play, ABC 123, and Busy Bees, which are all at Patterson Park, and then we also have Tumbleweeds and Toddler Time with Thomas at Sportscom. It's a great way to get your preschoolers and toddlers involved. I see a lot of moms who bring their children and they do the whole route Monday through Friday. They keep them busy the entire week. We also have dance. We will be doing dance registration for the fall. It's at Patterson, and registration is Saturday, August 13th from 9 to noon, Monday, August 15th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. It's at Patterson Park Community Center. The dance program will be in the Patterson Exercise Studio. The fee is $25 a month. There is a $10 registration fee. But really, for a dance school type atmosphere, you cannot get any less expensive than that, or inexpensive, I should say. Also, for more information, you can contact Jane Ogg at Patterson at 893-7439. We also have Sunday Series of Fun. We have 2 Sundays left. It's for families on Sunday afternoons. We have Painting on Plastic, which will be Sunday, July 17th from 2 to 4 at Old Fort Park, Pavilion 3. And then we have Messy Marvins and Mabels, which will be Sunday, August 14th from 2 to 4 at Old Fort Park, number 3. For more information, you can contact Marlene Sewell at 893-2141. We also need to mention that we have a wide variety of aquatic exercise classes, swim lessons, wellness classes at both Patterson and Sportscom, and a whole lot more. And all those programs are listed in our Rec Connection magazine. You can pick one up at any of our sites. You can download it from our website at www.murfreesborotn.gov/parks. And you can also friend us on Facebook now as well, and we try to do weekly updates and list upcoming things for the city as well as the Parks and Recreation Department. So if you're on Facebook, make sure you friend the city of Murfreesboro.
All right. Any questions for Becky? Thanks for the information.
Thanks.
Last but certainly not least, Tom Sage is going to come up and discuss the grant that Laney had talked about previously. Tom, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Commission. I'm going to talk about 3 or 4 of the 91 partnerships that we referred to earlier. About a year and a half ago, we were approached by Dr. Ifoma Guanquo and Dr. Teresa Flores from Vanderbilt University. They had received some grants through Vanderbilt to work with children in the inner cities, basically working with them, teaching children about diversity and talking about different people from different walks of life, people from different age groups. They've been coming down to the Patterson Center about a year and a half now, and it's just been absolutely wonderful. If you haven't been to Patterson lately, we've got an exhibition of 65 photographs that were kind of an offshoot of this program that Lou Outlaw did from Vanderbilt, and we've got them up in the center right now. If you haven't seen them, I encourage you to come by. They really add a lot to the center and also express a lot of the good things that go on at the center and happening with Parks and Rec. One of the things that happened was an offshoot of this program was when we were working with the children, the Vanderbilt staff and our staff, a couple of the programs involved bringing seniors from the community in to interact with the children. And we did a couple things with the seniors. They brought family history albums in, talk about their family histories, and so the children, kind of take them back to their family histories. It was a part of this program. We had a sock hop in our gym where the seniors come in and showed the kids what a sock hop was all about. But we're always looking for ways to encourage our seniors in the community to get active again and come back into this, and particularly to use the centers and get involved with parks and recreation activities. I think we have issues with a lot of seniors just don't know how or don't have the initiative to get out and get involved sometimes. And what we saw during these programs was the seniors were very interested in this. And so our Vanderbilt folks went back to Vanderbilt and they procured us a $5,000 grant to do what we're calling a pilot program, and it's a $5,000 grant. We received it through the Meharry Vanderbilt. It's a bit of a mouthful, so if you bear with me, I'm going to read it. The Meharry Vanderbilt Community Engagement Program. And the name of the grant is The Wisdom of Elders, Improving Mental Health Outcomes Through Life Lessons with African American Seniors. This program is geared for African American seniors. We're going to conduct this during the next year. And the aim of the project is to enhance the quality of life of African American seniors by engaging in intergenerational exchanges and developing autobiographic portfolios. I know that's a mouthful, but basically it's them coming in and getting involved, talking about their family histories, and we're going to take this a step further and do this program this next year. And some of the things that will be done with this program will be autobiographical interviews of African American seniors in their lives, interviewing seniors about their lives, scanning historical photographs of family and family members, as well as those from community libraries, taking photographs to document their lives today, creating and sharing personal, family, and community photo albums, and attending community events to share these histories. So we're really excited about that. Another exciting part of this program is there's a lot of other people involved in it. Dr. George Smith, a lot of y'all know from Murfreesboro, who's one of our local historians, has been involved in the children's program and is going to be involved in this program too. Dr. Barbara Hodges, who's a local doctor in the community and works with us quite a bit, is going to be involved. Mary Watkins, who's a retired school teacher and a genealogist herself, is going to be involved. So a lot of people come together to make this senior program happen, and we're just glad to have it, and we kind of wanted to bring it to y'all's attention today.
Any questions for Tom regarding this? Sounds like a great program.
Thank you. And I do have Lanny is going to allow me, if you will, to talk about one more program very briefly. You've heard me talk last year about Andy Hertzer, Coach Andy Hertzer, and the First Shot program. Andy's organization, nonprofit organization, does a lot of work providing opportunities for underprivileged children to be involved in sports activities in a positive manner. But since then we've done no less than 4 sport camps at Patterson partnering with First Shot organization, and they've just gone really well. One of the big things we've done with them camps is introduce inner city children to sports they're not normally used to. Tennis, golf, things like this. And it's gone really well. We had an idea last time when we did that would have been the spring camp. We incorporated a reading component into it. Now, we've been incorporating dance and music and these kind of things too, but we said, hey, we realized the kids, our local principals from Bradley and our other local schools saying, hey, anything you can do with reading. So we got the idea of inserting some reading and academic type activities in the last camp, and that went really well. So I think the word got out a little bit, and I got one of those famous phone calls from Dr. Linda Gilbert, and she said, Tom, we need to do more and more. We need to do more of this same thing. And she says, we're losing a lot of our kids. We're making great progress, but we've got to do more. So we called in Andy, Dr. Gilbert, the Patterson staff, Parks and Recreation staff, Lanny, everyone come together, Ron, who's just come on board with us. And the end result is we're currently doing a 3-week sports camp right now. the city school system identified a lot of, I think it was 125 children from, I believe, 4 different elementary schools, and Dr. Linda can talk more about this, if, I'm sure, but they personally called every one of these families to try to get them to come to this camp. And the reason being is the city school system is providing tutor interventionists to study reading and math. That's the 2 subjects a lot of kids are some kids are falling behind on. So our premise is to take this to a whole different level, incorporate this into our sports camp, increase the length of the sports camp, get these kids a real head start before the start of the school year, and continue to help bringing these TCAP scores up and get these kids back into where they need to be in our education system. So we're in the first week of that 3-week thing. Like I said, the school system and the Patterson staff personally called these parents. We've had a good turnout. We'd like to see a larger turnout, but we think this is a partnership with city schools and Parks and Rec that's going to be a really strong thing from this time forward. And I think it's very innovative. We were kind of curious we're 2 or 3 days into it now. We were kind of curious on how the kids would take to it, and so far it's just going wonderful. And I want Von Shell is helping ramrod the program on the Patterson staff, and of course Ron. And I'm just really excited about it, and I think Dr. Gilbert is too. And we're learning a lot from this 2 or 3 weeks, and we hope we can grow on this program. But I thought that would be something that would be interest to you and to the public out there. Thank you.
Great program. Thanks, Tom. That brings us to the end of new business. Under other business, I think Tim had one thing he wanted to talk about.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one thing. One of our recent meetings, we discussed about the use of the tennis courts, especially with the county school systems, and in particular the middle schools. It was mentioned that, of course, we had an abundance of usage during the spring, and it was mentioned that the middle school systems around the county are actually going to be playing a fall schedule at Old Fort Park. And I was looking back through some prior minutes, and I came across the agreement that we had when the tennis courts were constructed, and the agreement that we had with the school, with the county schools and the city regarding that use. And it mentioned in there that there would be a priority use for the schools during the tennis season between February 1st and May 15th of each year, and not at other times in particular. So that being said, I guess we need a clarification from Ms. Baker, perhaps Lanny, or perhaps Thomas Laird may have something to add to this subject about whether or not we need to modify that agreement, or whether there's another agreement that will give these middle schools that priority that they will need in that fall season.
Well, Lanny and I, if you don't mind, Lanny, talked to him. Lanny and I we met on this, and I've actually met with all the middle schools, and we've actually set up that fall season in a collaborated effort to ensure they were getting their practice times. There was enough court time for them to get the entire season in. And while the agreement does read, and it's a pretty stringent agreement, it makes reference to the construction of the complex, also the partnership that we have, and it has specific dates, as you spoke about. This being a new program for middle school tennis, it's a trial-type basis. So what our recommendation is, and what our intentions are, is to do a separate use agreement with the county schools, similar to that we do with baseball fields, with all of our other facilities, to allow them utilization of the facilities, but that we're not altering that original agreement until we're actually sure that this is the best operation of tennis in Rutherford County. It could be that they have this fall tennis league, and then TWSAA may come out with some mandates that prevents them from doing that, and we would be back at square one with the original contract. So what we would like to do is maintain the original contract as is right now, and go on a separate agreement for the middle schools to play their fall season. And I have their specific dates. We've actually set up the date for their tournament, so everything's in place. It's just a matter of us writing that agreement, that use agreement, having Mr. Gill sign off on it, just like we do with any other sport.
Right.
Does that require commission action on our part?
No.
But once I have it prepared, if you prefer, we can definitely bring it here.
We can bring it to you, but that's not generally the standard protocol. What we've been doing for years, Mr. Tips, is working with the county schools on the baseball, softball, other types of programs, even before we built the tennis courts, working out individual agreements for the schools, for the programs. All the different schools have different requirements, so we try to address those individually. And then we set up an agreement with the schools. What the county schools has requested through county school administration is all those agreements go through Dr. Gill, and that's what we've been doing.
Well, my concern would be that, obviously with those courts, and that's a great facility, and I am so glad that the city had the foresight to engage in that and expand that. But I just was concerned that with middle schools doing that you might have individuals that are seeking to use the courts at those same times would assert some influence.
We communicate that. I work real close with the Murfreesboro Tennis Association, and that's kind of the central point. Their website is the point of contact that generally most everyone in tennis that play tennis in the area know that that's the schedule to go by. And we've actually made it real simple with the middle schools. We've designated Tuesday and Thursdays as their practice and match time, so that the new courts, all the new courts, are unavailable in the evenings on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That still leaves 5 days a week open for the general public to utilize. And then I've instructed the Murfreesboro Tennis Association not to schedule any of their leagues or any of their activities on Tuesdays or Thursdays, so that the old courts are available for the general public and the middle schools will get their maximum court time. We may have to revisit this as they continue to grow, because those programs that had 2 teams now have got 6 teams. So tennis has definitely grown throughout the county, and this middle school is one of those places that we've seen the growth. But I think we're on top of it enough now that we can monitor it and make accommodations where needed. You ask the soccer people, we don't have enough soccer fields. You ask the tennis people, we don't have enough tennis courts. I don't think we will ever build enough to satisfy everybody, but we can maximize the space through coordination of schedules and working with the groups.
I would thank you very much, Thomas and Lanny, and I would also take this opportunity to reassert my interest that we've got a lot of schools around town that have tennis courts that are not being used, that are not in particularly good condition, and I know that that's going to be something that maybe either the school board, city school board, the city council, or the Parks and Rec needs to kind of look at, if we could, to find some money to get some of those courts resurfaced.
I recommend we get the county involved in that as well.
Amen to that, too.
That's one of the things, Mr. Tips, that Dr. Gilbert and I have discussed, and we're not there yet, but we're getting very close.
Good.
Thank you, Dale. Thank you. It's a good point. Thomas and Lanny, thank y'all for getting on top of that. Is there any other business?
Mr. Chair, the only thing that I want to bring up is I did put the board and commission appointments in at the June 23rd meeting of the Murfreesboro City Council. Mayor Bragg did reappoint 3 of our members for a 3-year term. Miss Elsie Easter, term now expires 6/30/2014. Mr. Tim Roediger, same expiration, and Mr. Ricky Turner, who was filling the unexpired term, and basically he was in for 2 months, and so he's reappointed for 3 years, but I did put those terms of office in here.
Ricky said he didn't know he was signing up for that. I told him he was stuck with us for 3 years. We're glad to have him, though. Thanks, Lanny. Any other business?
Move with adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Have a second? All in favor? Opposed? We stand adjourned.